Happy Saturday, everybody. We're just going to give it a couple minutes here and wait for people to join us. Callie is sharing, so it'll just be a couple minutes before we get started. If you are live with us, please let us know where you're watching us from. We love to do shout outs, so let us know. So funny. How is the weather where you guys are at? I think here in Portland, I haven't really looked outside yet, but I know yesterday it sprinkled a little bit. So hopefully today, we're planning on taking the kids fishing tomorrow. So I'm hoping that the weather will be nice for us. Oh, thanks, Jamie. You know, I got this new palette from I'm a subscriber to the BoxyCharm stuff, and they sent me this new palette, and I really wanted to try it. And they had this like really pretty like icy blue color, and I'm like, oh, you know, I haven't worn color eyeshadow in a very long time, so I figured I'd try it out. We've got Chadsworth from Minnesota, Miss Ruby Vang. Hello, hello. Thank you guys for tuning in. We've got a whole bunch of people on now. Oh, let's see. Mongoli Her, hello, how are you? Christy from California. Thanks, Jamie. Jenny says, hi, ladies. I love watching Finding Love with Charm from Missouri. Thank you. We've really had a fabulous time getting to know Charm and the contestants. And so thank you for, tuning in and supporting. We definitely really appreciate that. Of course, Will from New Zealand, like always. Thank you for watching us all the way from over there, regardless of what time of day it is there. Could be 3 a.m. for all we know, so thank you. Chadsworth said, Red, why are you so serious? Because she's trying to share on her personal before we get started, Chadsworth. We're almost there, so just give it a couple seconds. I'm sure she's almost done, and then we have a really awesome episode today dedicated to our moms. And so we've got some stuff happening, and we're so excited. We can't wait for people to hop on and join us. And so, we're excited for you guys to hear as well. So that's why she's serious, because it's going to be a awesome show, Chadsworth. But thank you for always tuning in and supporting and rooting for us. We appreciate that. All right, Red, you're almost done. Whew. Good?
Yeah.
Almost?
I feel like I get slower and slower with like my short thumbs. My short thumbs always have to like underpaid and overworked.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, you gotta find a way to get it done, Callie. We gotta find a way.
These little thumbs can barely go.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, and welcome to All That Talk Show, where we strive to educate, empower, and entertain. I'm your co-host, Olivia.
I'm Callie.
And honestly, I think this episode is very near and dear to Callie and I. I think we've kind of tried to, figure out when's a good time to do it, because we know next week is really Mother's Day, but it's going to be a very busy weekend for most of you. And, we had put a giveaway in, and we are so excited to just announce the winners. We have some really awesome prizes, and so we'll do that towards the end. So if you put in a submission for the Mother's Day giveaway, stay tuned. I will show what we have so far, because I have it all laid out right next to me here. I'm not going to be like those people where I try stuff on for you because it's not my size. But I will show, so stay tuned for that. But Callie, anything you want to add, before you bring on our guests and have them share their stories with us?
No, so just a reminder that Mother's Day is Sunday, May 9th. So
Yeah.
not tomorrow, but that's next weekend. But I feel like it's a little bit earlier than it's been before. I've always felt like it's closer to the 10th, and I know that's only 2 days, 2 additional days, but I feel like sometimes when you're looking for gifts for people, you really need like every last day. And so just a reminder that next Sunday, May 9th, is Mother's Day. And so make sure if you're getting your mom flowers, gifts, whatever it is, make sure that you're allowing yourself some time to look, and also make sure that the deliveries get there on time. So
Mhm.
last year we had Linda on for our Mother's Day episode, and we did this whole, I mean, it was really a really nice episode. And so this year we're doing things a little bit differently. We're having several different people jump on and share their stories of their moms with us. And if you're live with us and you want to jump on, definitely DM us and we'll see if we can get you on with us, because we want to hear about all of your moms. I think that all of our moms are amazing, and we
Mhm.
have stories that we want to share to them, and I think that for all that they do for us, like to come on, I know a lot of people are camera shy, but I would challenge you that, if your mom has made an impact on your life, and that, to honor her, definitely, let us know and jump on and just share with us. So
Absolutely.
that is pretty much it. And so our first guest that we're going to have on with us. So basically what we're having, people do is that get on and then just share something that your mom has done that has stuck with you, a story of her, or just, sort of a dedication. And so it's kind of up to you, but we're going to have them on for just a couple of minutes to share theirs. And so first off, we have Will out of Minnesota. And so we are going to bring him on just to share a few things about his mother ahead of Mother's Day.
Hey,
Hey,
Will.
how's it going? Thanks for
Good.
having
How
me.
are you?
It's always a pleasure. And I believe he's from New Zealand, right? Inside, inside
You're
joke.
right. I stand corrected. I'm sorry.
That's
Will
right.
from New Zealand.
Yep, that's
But
right.
now you have to do an Aussie accent.
Oh man, I was in Australia back in 2013, and surprisingly, I've got a bunch of relatives out there. So when
But
they talk to me in English, you hear the really strong accent, but then it's like this. They speak
Mhm.
just like us. So Australian
but do
cousins,
New
if you're
Zealanders but do
watching.
New Zealanders have Aussie accents though?
Oh yes, yes. But hi,
Oh,
Mike.
that's true. Why did I?
How are you doing, Mike? It's just like, oh man, I feel like I'm watching like the Discovery Channel or something. But
Why
hi.
did I? But why did I think that New Zealand was Australian? Oh
I
my
don't know. That's why I was
Oh
confused.
well,
I'm
you know
like,
what? It is out there. It is out there. I think it is part of Australia, but it's like an island that's away from Australia. I don't know, but yeah, I've been wanting to go to New Zealand because I'm a fan of Lord of the Rings. So I
uh-huh.
want to go to I want to go. Yep, I want to go check out all the beautiful landscapes. Yeah. Well, happy
Awesome.
Mother's Day to you both, and happy Mother's
Thanks.
Day to all the mothers and all the future mothers out there. Um, Great, good time to express our love and affection for the person that brought us into this world.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
All right. So why don't you share with us something about your mother, something that, and I know a little bit about, just like your mom and your story, but if you can just share with us, just, something that maybe made a big impression on you while you were growing up, or just something that now that you think about when you think about your mom, that stays with you.
Sure. Well, I appreciate you having me on your chat on your channel. I love my mom, and there's just so many experiences with her. I can't really explain all of them or share all of them, but I will share two that's the most memorable. My dad passed away when I was 13 years old, and going through high school, going through all the teenage struggles. My mom was wearing both hats. She was the father, and she was also playing the mother role. Through high school, my brother and I were into sports. We played volleyball. So throughout my 4 years of high school, I played volleyball. Um, we had 6 home games and we had 6 road games. my freshman and sophomore year, she was at every home game. I mean, excuse me, every game, because we lived about a mile, no, I'm sorry, a block away, a block away from the high school. So she would walk over after high school, watch our home games. And then if we have away games, we didn't know how to drive back then. Obviously, we weren't old enough. So she would take me to the game, watch the game with me. So she was very supportive up until the point where I was able to learn how to drive. And teenagers, we're kind of ashamed, not ashamed, but like embarrassed of our parents being around. So
Yeah.
I kind of like pushed her off a little bit as far as the home game, the away games are concerned. But she was always there for the support, mental support throughout my high school years. We don't really appreciate that. I didn't really appreciate that then, but looking back, that's what kept me in the sports, just having a mother figure or a parent figure or someone there to just mentally push you through whatever activities or life challenges that you go through. So that was very important to me, because sports kept me off the streets. Sports allowed me to be competitive in my own ways, and also networking, being social, being around people, working together as a team. So to me, those are very important attributes. Just being part of being involved in extracurricular activities. And although my mom didn't play the sport herself or know anything about it, she was willing to just be there mentally, physically, mentally, to just encourage me to pull through. So that's one example. And of course, the other example is my parents own a lot of real estate in Chicago back in the days. Up until the point when my dad passed away, my mom had to sell some, and then some of them she kept. But she was the property manager. She did everything from renovating the property, general, paint, carpet, replacing tubs, replacing toilets, basically vanities. There was even a point where she would repair the roof. She was out there alone, like carrying shingles one by one up there, just laying the tar shingles, and that was all her. At the time, my brother and I, we were just rebellious teenagers. We were just out there having fun, doing what teenagers do. And so we didn't really know what the struggles that mom had to go through alone. But looking back now, yeah, she went through a lot for us to get to where we are now. So I'm really thankful for just having a loving, caring mother. And I'm sure that it's just in the female genetics, nature, to just care as much for their children. So my hat's off to all the mothers. We appreciate you. For those that have kids that are not as affectionate or can't express their feelings as well, on behalf of myself and the kids, we really appreciate everything that you do for us.
I love it. I definitely feel like Hmong moms, because of what they have had to go through, they're especially just like very able, very momo bingsu, and just when they know they have to do something, like they just do it and they don't even think about anything else. And I think that that's one of the things that I love about a lot of the Hmong moms, is that they do what it takes, and even when it's hard. And your mom sounds exactly like that, and I can see a lot of those characters through you. And so I know, Liv and I would love to meet your mom one day. It sounds like she's a very smart woman, and very capable, especially knowing that she's raised you and your brother.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I think you hit on a very important point there. Like our parents, they didn't have all the education strategies. They just went in whatever resources was available, and they took whatever, and it was a trial and error for them for the most part. Whereas today, like, we're all strategic, right? We want to make sure like every point makes sense, and sometimes we overthink and we don't do. So for like our parents, they're just doers, especially our mothers. They're just doers. They don't care about the actual outcome. They just know that whatever they're doing, it's better than not doing anything. So I think I kind of inherited that attitude, that outlook in life from her. So that's pretty much how I view life as well. Just got to do it. You don't overthink yourself. So I appreciate that about her.
I love that. I think just what you shared about your mom really resonates with me too well, because I think or let the husband pass away. Now, I feel like I think just kind of like when you were talking about how she did all of that stuff by herself, it made me a little bit teary eyed because it just reminds me of like my mom, how lonely they feel. I'm sure there are moments where they had to like take a moment to pause. Right? So I think like when we as we age and we start thinking about things like that, it's kind of like the should have, could have kind of thing, like had I known then, I probably would have helped her. So I think a part of me, like when I hear people say those things, it does make me reflect back on the things that I wish I would have done with my mom, So you that's how you do share you do came in. So thank you for sharing that. I think it makes me feel like I'm not the only one who has gone through that with my mom, where it's like I wish I would have done things a little bit differently in my younger years to kind of help her out more, knowing that
Yes, yes. I think about it all. I mean, I'm fairly open with my mom, but I never really told her, addressed it to her that I appreciate her for everything that she's done through like our teenage years. But I respect her. I do a lot for her.
Yeah.
But I never really opened up to her about how the struggles that she had to go through during those years. So by having me on this show, it's like an eye awakening moment, because you never know, like that when that day comes, right? So the opportunity is now. So thank you, ladies.
Yeah, and I'm gonna challenge you.
I'm gonna call her.
Yeah. You should.
Yeah. Because I always feel like just as being Jean from our parents want the same thing, right? Just the acknowledgement, that love. And I think because in our culture, it's not really a thing where you say, I love you, mom. I think it's especially nice when we hear that from like both sides of the table. And so we're going to challenge you to do that. But thank you so much, Will, for coming on and sharing your story of your mother with us today, and have fun kayaking today. I'll see you later.
You
Bye.
I
will. Thank you. Oh, that was a good one.
All right. Okay. So yes, that was good. Oh, I'm already feeling like I've got I don't have Kleenex. I have like a whole thick, like half a thick roll of tissue.
I know, but that's what I said. I had to hold myself back because it is really sad.
Do you remember last year when tissue was a hot commodity? And here I am, just like big ass roll, just right here waiting for me. But anyways, okay, so our next guest is Jor Lee, and Jor Lee is out of California, and he is actually one of the person that donated one of the $100 gift cards to our Mother's Day giveaway. So we really want to thank him, and then he's also going to come on and join us, and looks like he's outside, so hopefully the connection is okay.
Hi, girl.
Hey, Jor. How are you?
I'm actually in Minnesota.
Are you?
You're in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in Monctown, I guess.
Oh, nice.
I gotta keep my mask on.
Okay.
There's a security guard over there.
Long time no see or talk. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you girls?
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for hopping on with us today.
Oh, no problem. Always.
All right.
Happy Mother's Day to you girls.
Thank you so much. So we are having you on today because we would like you to share just something about your mother, a story that stuck with you, or just, a small dedication that you would like to make for her today.
First of all, I appreciate, and of all the mothers out there, I know they're like, a lot of people don't realize it, of all the hardship that they go through. Because I guess the older generation, you don't really see the mom. You don't see the dad going to work, and you come home, you see your mom. And now the new generation, both parents work. So I just like to put that out there, that even though you don't see the mom working behind that closed door, they're always working. Usually like the backbone of the family, holding everybody together. So, but growing up, I guess I was very stubborn and really bad. And then my mom was always there to whoop my ass, Don't lie, So, I mean, everything that I wanted to do, my mom was always against it. Like, I wanted to join the military, my mom was against it. I still joined the military. I married a different race. My mom was against it. I still married. So, after the divorce, I guess after a while, she was always there to support me. and there to babysit my kids while I need her there and stuff like that. So my mom was always there after my divorce and everything to help me through, guide me through, and then now it's pretty much helping my girls how to like on and then try to, I guess, guide them through like the girl part of it because I can't do the girl part. I can only do the guy part, you know. So yeah. So I just like to say that I'm very grateful for my mom and I love her. So.
Yeah, love it. So I think one of the things that like growing up, like my parents are always said to me is that like is when we don't care no more, right? And so like it's like all your life, like they always lecture, you know, and I would agree with you, Jor. Like I think there's a lot of things in my life that I did that, you know, my parents and my mom didn't agree with. But at the very end, they're still there for me, and they still always like my mom is like anytime I call her, like even if we're just like talking about regular stuff, like she's always like pumping me up, you know, she's always like saying like the most sushi stuff to me to like encourage me. I'm just like, oh mom, like I know I'm fine. Like you don't have to like boost up my confidence. I'm okay, you know. And I think just knowing that they're there, you know, like despite everything is really, really nice. So
Yeah.
All right. Do you have anything else to add, Olivia?
No, just thank you so much for sharing, and for also saying that you love your mom on air. You know, I think a lot of Hmong men, they don't say that kind of stuff. So I think it's always really important that whether you are a daughter or a son, Oli put that Kelly, hi, you know, la ying jin cho, you nin cho la la lu zhong la ying jin cho, you zake lu then, you know. So I think we just have to I know that for me, like as my mom starts to age, she starts to get on my nerves more because she starts to act like a child because they're very needy. And I think sometimes we just have to remember to be patient. And that you move you that's why who you right? Like they constantly call you, like they want you to go over like right now, but it's like, but I can't. So I think just like being patient. But I really love that you did say I love you. I think that's amazing. I think we need to continue to tell our parents that. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right. Well, have fun in
Thanks,
Minnesota and have
George.
a safe trip back.
Bye,
Yes.
girls.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So our next guest that we are having on is actually one of the winners of our Mother's Day giveaway. So if you don't recall, we had everybody basically share a story into our DM, and Manya is one of the stories that we selected, and we actually have her on air. We're gonna have her on air to share her story with us, so we are very, very excited. I know when I read her story, I'm like, oh my gosh, like so emotional. And so we are gonna have her on air to share with us.
Hi, Manya. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course.
And to the people who donated and everything, I think Mother's Day definitely is kind of an underrated holiday, even though I used to work at Hallmark. It was the most gross, like it made the most money out of all the holidays, right? Because
wow.
Cards, so everybody goes to Hallmark for cards. So, but anyway, it is an underrated holiday, so I think it's really great that you guys are able to highlight this and host the giveaway. So thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And thank you for entering and sharing about your mother. So we're just going to jump right into it. We'd love for you to either share, you know, a little bit about what you share with us, or if there's a story that just has really stuck with you, or just a small dedication that you want to make for your mom.
Yeah, sure. And I kind of I get really sentimental now that I'm older. So I you know, I don't have a roll of toilet paper like you do, Kelly. That but yeah, I shared with you ladies in my in the piece that I wrote, there isn't like necessarily one incident that makes me admire and love and just be inspired by my mom, but it's just her whole entire story. And I'll try to keep it short, but I'll try to hit some of the main points, you know. My mom was orphaned really young in Laos, and so her and her sisters ended up with family, you know, the traditional Hmong thing to do. And then she was married off really quickly. And I think she was married at like 13 or 14, which isn't super, new in our culture. But she was married off really quickly, and then to my dad. And then right after that happened, they pretty much had to leave Laos because of the war. And so, all of that trauma which unfortunately is not new to our older generation as well. So fighting for their lives there, and finally getting to America here, only to be diagnosed with kidney disease, and so she had both kidney failures when by the time she got here to the US. And then my dad ended up getting addicted to opium and alcohol. And so she really had to figure out life here and with us kids on her own. She did have us all here, so there's 7 of us. But you can just imagine all that time where she just had to really, like you guys, ladies were saying, figure it out, right? All those moments, Olivia, that you're saying that our moms had to just kind of take for themselves because they had no other options. Really, it was either to survive or to not. And so, so in the midst of her kidney failure, she had to take care of us 7 kids while dealing with my father, who was addicted to opium and alcohol and fairly abusive too. And I share this because I know that these are things that happen in our community way too often, and I think I'm more comfortable with it now because I know like that's my mom's story and that's my story. And so I share it with a heavy heart, but I do share it because I know that it happens and it's not talked about enough. So she had to deal with all this, and she doesn't have any close family. Like I said, she was orphaned really young. She had sisters, but they were also married and far away. And so it wasn't until much later that she was telling me her story again, when I was old enough to actually ask her, because I feel like a lot of times, like when we're younger, we don't ask about their stories and we don't care for it. But so you're like, okay, well, Mom, tell me about this. And when she started telling me, at one point she had shared that there were certain times in her life where she was ready to just, she contemplated like ending it all, like just not having to deal with it. But the shilla law, our moms, and she's like, I thought about you guys, like who would love you guys, who would take care of you guys. And so I just ended up, pushing through to another day because I had to. And so she had kidney failure. And then my second oldest brother, when he turned 18, like right when he turned 18, he was like, yep, I'm going to donate my kidney. If I'm a match, then I'm going to donate it because I still have younger siblings and they need a mom. I'm sorry, see? And so my brother, he donated his kidney. Can you imagine as an 18 to be like, yeah, that's something I want to do. And so the big and so when the surgeries happened, my brother went home and I don't even know who took care of him. I think like my cousins who were like his age, they're just a bunch of boys. They took care of him. And so, and I, we were little, so we were just running around. We just thought, okay, well, it's another operation. It's another hospital visit, because these things were really normal in my childhood for my mom.